Hi, my name's Claire and I am one of the directors running the Limes currently. We took over in February this year. We're running it as a company at the moment. We were very lucky that a lot of locals put in some money as a loan to get us back up and running, buy the stock, give the place a really good clean, etc. So we started off quite well, and unfortunately today is our last day. We've got our regulars coming in and locals. Some people that wouldn't normally be here on a Saturday night are popping in. For example, some of the people that just come in for Wednesday night quiz have come in. Some people that have been at bingo on a Thursday night are going to come in. But it's very low key. We're going to just enjoy the last few hours of being at the Limes.
So the Limes closed on Saturday the 20th of October. But what about the future? Maybe a replacement pub?
Well, we've got the planning permission now for the pub. They're willing to sell us part of the land. So hopefully, yes, all being well, we should be able to go ahead and build a new pub.
What's the next step?
There's a public meeting on Tuesday. We will be explaining to everyone what's happening, where we are now, what we look for in the future.
So what happened at the meeting? Philip Grant was there.
Thank you all for coming to this meeting tonight. Everybody knows of the Limes and probably realises it goes back over 100 years and has been a part of Merstham.
I'm Michael Blacker. I'm a local councillor. I'm a chartered structural engineer and have my own consulting structural and civil engineering business in Reigate.
Well, this evening we had the public meeting to find out whether there was demand for a new pub in Merstham. You're looking for people to invest in, I suppose you could call it the new Griffin pub. Have you had anyone part with their money yet?
We have one person who's now invested £5,000 and I will be the next, and it'll be a bit more than that.
You've got a deadline to raise the initial £200,000. Are you confident that you'll reach that sum of money by the end of October or early November?
I'm always an optimist. I will be doing my level best. There are several people who I will be going to see personally, who I know have shown interest, but obviously the figures are quite daunting, and I'm just trying to tell people you cannot be frightened by the figures. It's a case of many hands make light work.
And if you get the initial bit of money, which obviously shows that there is a genuine interest in the community for the pub, what is the next stage in terms of the timescale?
Right, obviously the very next stage is once we've got this milestone, that will mean the developer will back off from actually carrying out his development, and he will mark out the site and agree the area that we're going to buy, and he won't be building on it. But it still means we have to raise more money. Now what I'd like to do is raise as close to the 600,000 as we can to borrow as little as possible, so that the borrowing is on the building itself, because borrowing to build something is much easier than it is buying a piece of land.
If it all goes to plan, when do you expect the pub to open?
I am targeting opening in June. That's quite a tight schedule, but with the developer himself actually carrying out the building work, and he's promised to do that at cost, I anticipate that because of the way the site's orientated, he will actually start putting the foundations in the pub first and work his way out. So that's why I need to show him that we're interested, so that it's actually worth being able to move in that direction. And, the Limes Action Group will be able to put about £40,000 in from the profit we've made. We've got to allow to pay tax and VAT, and the developer himself has agreed to buy £50,000 worth of shares.
So that's the plan, which seems quite ambitious. The initial deadline to raise the £200,000 was by the 31st of October, with no news yet on how successful this was. But back to the closing night at the Limes. What did the locals think?
And we started coming here try to get here on the Sunday to see all my friends. So we're coming here on and off for 6 months. Now we've got used to it. This pub's now going. So that's very sad as well. And it's such a lovely big pub. You come in here, you meet people you've never met. I mean, I don't know that guy, was chatting away, like as if I've known him. And all the locals come in and everybody talks to you. You all get together.
You've been drinking at the Limes in Merstham for how many years?
In excess of 20 years, 22 years. It's a local pub. It's where we come, where we watch the TV, where we play golf, where everything runs out of one pub.
20 years. So my triplets had their christening here. Unfortunately, they're not going to get their first legal drink in the pub. but hopefully they will in the new one.
How do you feel about the way the pub has been in limbo over the last 2 or 3 years?
It's given us a stay of execution. It was 2 years longer than we expected. Unfortunately, it is closing, and hopefully the new one will emerge from the ashes.
I think we knew it was coming. I think it's too big a pub on too big a plot of land, but I think we knew it was coming. But at the end of the day, it's all a bit of a shock when it finishes.